What's up everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to go over how I set up for tattooing at home. So if I'm doing fake skins, I'm going to show you the whole setup process and show you exactly what I do to tattoo fake skins. And if you're new to this channel, I'm Brandon from Tattooing 101. Make sure you're liking and subscribing down below so you can keep up to date on all the new content we make each week. Now before we get into the actual setup, there's a couple things that you're going to need in order to be able to tattoo on fake skins. You're going to need Vaseline, paper towels, a spray bottle for your soap solution, be that green soap or dial soap, whatever you prefer. You're going to need ink caps, obviously ink, your tattoo machine, cartridges, all of those things are very important. And then obviously you're going to need fake skins and stencil primer or speed stick, which I like to use on fake skins. It works really well. And then obviously your stencil paper, which I recommend Spirit. It's definitely the best. Try not to order it on Amazon because there's a lot of fakes out there and it just will not work the same. So now that we have the list of things that you will need in order to create your tattoo station at home, let's get into it. First thing I want to point out is gloves. You're going to need them. Even if you are tattooing on fake skins, still wear gloves. It gets you in the mindset of wearing gloves no matter what you are doing with tattooing, and making sure that you are not getting ink and everything all over your hands, which is really hard to come off. So gloves are very important. The next step is going to be laying down the saran wrap. So we set everything up like we would actually be tattooing a client or yourself. So wrapping up everything that you actually use during the tattooing process is a very important part whenever you are learning. Even if you are tattooing on fake skins, setting up the same way every time is going to help you out in the future, just with muscle memory. Awesome, so before I lay down my saran wrap, I always put some water down. That way the saran wrap has something to stick to, which helps it from sliding around when you are tattooing your fake skins. Now you could lay down the saran wrap. Now what I like to do is use a piece of barrier or a dental bib and place down right there. So this is what I'm going to set up on. I have my desk wrapped up with saran wrap and I have my dental bib down. And now we can start setting everything else up. So a bottle bag for your bottle obviously goes on right like this. Very easy, covers up everything. You place it down on your station. Some people wrap it from the top. That is not the right way because you're putting this down on your station, which has all of the bottom cut out. So you're just placing this bottle down on your station with blood, plasma, ink, all this stuff. So make sure you're wrapping it up like this so when it places it down it's still wrapped up completely and the top is open. Obviously you want gloves. Gloves are another important process to this. You're going to be wearing gloves pretty much your whole career when you start tattooing and so on. So make sure you're wearing gloves. Now it comes to the actual tattoo machine. I'm using the Cheyenne Solnova Unlimited. So this is something that, will vary depending on your machine. But with this machine, I'm going to wrap it up with a bag. One thing to think about if you are tattooing clients or anything like that, these are not able to be ran without an autoclave. You need to autoclave this anytime. No matter how good you wrap this machine, there's still going to be ink and plasma and blood up into this. There's no way to stop that, and there's no way to barrier it up with stuff like this. So if you're tattooing people, I recommend that you don't buy a machine like this, or to buy ones with disposable grips, or have an autoclave, which obviously can be very expensive and annoying. But with tattooing on fake skins, we could just slide this over. This is just a barrier so we don't get ink all over the machine, so it stays nice and clean. So you just wrap it over like that. Then we get out some sports wrap and just wrap it up as many times as you would like until it's comfortable for you, just like that. So everything's covered that I want to do. It's not going to get ink everywhere, and then you can just put your cartridge in the top. So there is our machine. Now I'm going to rip off some paper towels, so having these ready to go for the tattooing process, and I will set these right here. Now we get onto the Vaseline, so we can put our ink caps down. Now when tattooing on fake skins, I like to use a lot of Vaseline. That's how I clean my fake skins as I'm tattooing, so putting enough Vaseline down to stick your ink caps so they're not just flying everywhere. Now time for the ink caps. Depending on what I'm doing, I will pull a different amount, so sometimes I'll use 1 if it's just outline work, sometimes I'll use 3 to 6, depending on what I'm doing. For the sake of setup, I will put out, let's do 3. Okay, now of course we need our ink. Always shake up your bottles before you pour them. And I always hold a paper towel over it so it doesn't spray everywhere. So when I'm shaking it, I just do this. That way you're not accidentally, the cap's open and you just spray ink all through your station, which would be terrible. And it has happened to me before, so I've learned after the first time that I always use a paper towel. So my drops, I'm going to use solid black on the right, and then 6 drops, then 3 drops, right like that. Then I always wipe off the top with my paper towel so it's nice and clean. Now we go for water. So I'm going to use my water bottle. This is not my soap solution. This is just water. We could just fill this up. I like to do this in these bottles just because you could clearly just make it go right in there without trying to, you know, pour water in these because it's going to spill everywhere. So I have a soap bottle and an actual water bottle. Obviously marked so you know which is which. Next step is going on to our cartridges. We'll lay down our actual fake skin, which is another thing you obviously need, right here so we can see what we need to do this design. So I'm going to say an 11 round liner and probably a 15 curved mag. So now we could go over and get our cartridges picked out. Let's see, an 11 round liner. Obviously wearing gloves the whole time. We'll place that right there. Yeah, let's go with an 11 curved mag. That sounds perfect. So we have our setup. Now one thing you want to think about is any time that you are setting up your station, you want to try to set it up exactly the same every single time. What that's going to do is give you muscle memory, so you know exactly where all of your things are set up in order to be able to tattoo appropriately. If I mixed up my inks and put my black on this side, I'd be dipping in my light gray wash thinking it was on this side, but I always start my black to this side. Another thing, I like to have everything pretty neatly set up so I'm right-handed. So my Vaseline's on this side, so I can just pull from here, put it on my hand right here, and be able to tattoo with it. You know, I leave my cartridges up here, usually in order. If I'm using multiple cartridges, I'll leave my like small liner right here, my medium liner right here, and my mags always start out with my biggest ones to the right and my smallest ones to the left. That's just what makes me feel comfortable knowing exactly where everything is. With cartridges nowadays, they do have numbers on there, which is nice, but that's one thing that you want to get used to whenever you are tattooing. And obviously my machine, before you actually start, you want to make sure that you put your cartridge in there, set your needle to where exactly you like it if you're running on the tube, or if you let your needle hang out a little bit, you know, making sure everything's working appropriately before actually getting into the tattoo. And I have a question for you guys. All you have to do is comment down below with your answer. So how do you guys set up? Just give me a light explanation of how you guys set everything up with your actual stations at home when you are tattooing on fake skins, things like that. I'd like to see what you guys are doing. And also, another thing, if you're using different machines that I wanted to point on. So if you're using an Injecta or a machine like that, what you're going to want to do is pretty much the same thing we did with this pen style machine, but you're going to be using disposable grips right like this. So they will come in packages like this. They are single use, and then you just throw them away. Then you just put them on here, and then you could wrap up the back of your machine with a machine bag and the clip cord cover. You want to make sure that you're doing this with any single tattoo you're doing, you know, with a fake skin or tattooing yourself, because it is very important to keep everything as sterile as physically possible. And then after you're done, throw this away. Now this setup is obviously for fake skins. If you were actually tattooing yourself or something like that, obviously you would not want to be using a wooden table. You would want a metal table that you'll be able to sterilize with Maticide or Cavicide. You also want to make sure that your station is able to be cleaned appropriately. So the chairs you're using, the floor is able to be sanitized. All of these things are really important, so I wanted to touch base on that. This is strictly for tattooing on fake skins, not tattooing yourself or clients. Awesome, so this is how I set up my station. I hope this was able to help you guys out in order to see exactly how I set up my station every single time. And this is also how I set up for clients as well, obviously on a metal table or a metal stand. As always, if you like content like this and it's helping you along your journey of becoming a tattoo artist, make sure you're liking and subscribing down below so you can keep up to date on all of the new videos I make each week. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.